Hello and welcome to episode 13 of Women Crush Wednesday on the Red Bra Project YouTube channel. We are so excited to be here with you tonight. We are featuring an amazing photographer, Amy Mellow of Love Sunday Photography is with us tonight, and she has just the best story to share with us. I'm so excited. I've been waiting all week for this. I've been going back and forth with Renee. She knows how excited I am, and I'm going to toss it over to Renee really quick. Hi, Renee.
Hey, everybody. So excited to be here. And like you, Sean, I'm so excited for Amy tonight. We are, I can't believe it's episode lucky 13. So that's exciting. Yep. And I saw a little snippet of your Cleveland shirt there, Shauna.
I have Cleveland representing tonight.
Nice.
I may live in Boston area, but I'm not a Celtics fan, so I got to get the Cavs going,
All right. So, Amy, we are so excited to have you. Thank you for joining us tonight and sharing just a little bit about your story and journey. And I do not have a doubt that it is going to inspire so many people. So I'd like to open up a little bit with you telling us about just where you're from and what you do and that kind of thing.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I've been following along and have loved hearing from the women that you have featured. I feel honored that you think I'm of that caliber.
Thank you.
My name is Amy. I currently live in Mystic, Connecticut. I am from Westerly, Rhode Island. I am a photographer, and I just been doing photography for about 4 or 5 years. And yeah, I'm just kind of loving what I'm doing, mostly weddings. I do some boudoir photography as well. And I'm like to be here and tell you guys a little bit more about me.
Well, we are so excited. You are actually connected to one of our previous guests who was featured in an earlier episode of ours, I think episode 4, Megan. And she worked with you through your boudoir photography. The Babe Festival is what you call that, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about that and just kind of the mission behind it and all of the stuff that just excites me when I read about it?
Yes, it excites me too. Yeah, so I know Megan from CrossFit originally, and last year, the beginning of last summer, I had this idea that I wanted to start doing outdoor boudoir sessions. I get asked about boudoir sessions a lot because of the weddings. My brides want to do gifts for the guys, that kind of thing, and I love them. But I was kind of like had this moment one day where it's just like, I love being outside and barefoot and like feeling the sun on me. I think it'd be so cool to do something a little more my style, which is a little more bohemian than traditional sexy, I guess. I don't know that you can call bohemian sexy at all, but in my eyes it is. And so I kind of just started doing the outdoor sessions, and I wanted women to feel like they belonged to something. So when I was trying to come up with a name, I decided that festival was kind of a great way to call it, especially with like festival season and Coachella, all of that kind of stuff. I felt like kind of defined the brand that I was going for. So when I was thinking about this, I also was thinking about how when I started in photography, I know photographers can have a voice in the community because you can get to a level where you're educating a little bit. And I have a past with domestic violence and abuse. And I'd always known that I wanted to use photography to somehow speak about that and to help others. When I started thinking about boudoir, and that I thought, well, if I'm empowering women to feel beautiful in front of the camera, I will also empower women through a resource that we have here in Connecticut called Safe Futures. And it's on the Coalition for Domestic Violence in Connecticut and nationally. And so I thought that every percentage of the shoots could go towards helping Safe Futures. So that's kind of where the Babe Festival started, originated. Meg signed up for one of my sessions and she absolutely killed it. I actually did like a paddleboard session and she'd never been on one, and she went all in and did it, and she looked amazing. And yeah, it turns out, come to find out, she has a crazy little story too, which she shared with you guys. So that's how I know Meg, and yeah, how the Babe Festival started.
That is such a beautiful story, and just meaning behind what you started there with the Boudoir Festival. And I mean, it's incredible. And I mean, just hearing where you, and I know we kind of chatted a little bit, so I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, but you are self-taught. So you did all of this on your own. And figuring things out and just figuring it out along the way, right?
Yeah, totally. I could tell it was definitely a passion. I usually get excited about things and then they kind of fall flat. But photography has been something that I literally absorb anything I can. I will take any class I can. I attend, workshops out in Vegas, and I'll pretty much just keep learning, and I'm trying and hustling about it. So it's definitely been a passion. And there's so many great resources out there. So I kind of just try to take advantage of all of them.
Absolutely. Your work is beautiful too. Absolutely stunning. And for all of our viewers that know Amy and our new viewers tonight, welcome. We'll make sure to link everything up on our Instagram page and our website, just so you can make sure to find her and follow her, because she is very talented. So Amy, coming from, you said, you had a domestic violence past and things like that. And I know that you're happily married now. How you kind of alluded to a little bit of where you were in your life lessons and just how you would love to share that with other women, what changed for you. Can you give us a little bit a peek into that, or what you can share?
Yeah. So I was in an abusive marriage for 6 years. I was in a relationship for probably about 8 years total. And coming out of it was weird. It was a strange time, because I'm a very I'm a thinker, so I knew it wasn't my fault. I felt like when I left the relationship, I didn't have any baggage, so to speak. I tried to go to therapy, and they were kind of just like, I think you should come back to us when you're in a new relationship. We'll make sure everything's okay with you then. I didn't come from a house where my father was that way, so I just didn't really have all this baggage that I feel like a lot of times can go along with that. So I was kind of just living life, but I really reverted back to almost being like a 20-year-old. I don't know if it was because all of that was taken from me, but I just, I was partying and not really taking life too seriously, working in restaurants, and life was fun and it was great. But then, I did meet my now husband, but at first we were just friends, and we were friends for a long time. I was doing photography kind of just for friends on the side. And he kind of sat me down and was like, you need to make this a business. And I said, no one's ever going to pay me to take their photos. And he's like, no, wait, you're great at it and you should do it. So that kind of got the ball rolling when it came to educating myself in all areas of my life, I think. From that led to hearing about Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic. And that book, I think, changed my life in a lot of ways, not just photography related, but insecurity wise, and not being afraid to kind of put yourself out there a little bit more. I was a very insecure person. I would say up until my 30s, I was just terrified of ever kind of going for things. And kind of once I started to read that book and look a little more inwardly, eventually I just kind of snapped out of it and felt more confident in life and stopped kind of fighting, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but so that's kind of how things started to take fruition, and then just reading more books to kind of help myself gain my personality back, or find who I was a little bit more.
I have to run out this book now. I'm inspired. I've been reading on your sheet. I'm like, okay, well, I've already read, because you also mentioned one of my favorites, the being a badass, and stop doubting your greatness. So I'm so inspired by your story. I think that we probably have a lot of people watching or that follow us that may be going something similar. So I'm curious, what made you push through that fear, and how did you find that self-love for yourself again to push through those insecurities? Because I think that's the hard part. You have to almost retrain your brain that you, as we've said in the book, you're awesome. And how do you get back to that point of recognizing that?
We were just doing it over and over and over again. I think that I love the analogy to use fear as a compass. So if something is scaring you, it means you should be going for it. I also realized we think people think about us way more than they do. So when you're constantly afraid that people are thinking this about you, or oh my God, who does she think she is to be doing this? People aren't thinking that. I think about how much I think about other people in my life, and really not that often. Like, I'm always just thinking about myself. So if everyone is just walking around thinking about themselves, they're not really thinking about it. And it kind of gives you the freedom to pursue what you want to pursue and do what you want to pursue. And yeah, I think, you know, rejection is a good thing. You get rejected, you learn from it, and it kind of gives you the confidence to go out and do it again. One of the speakers I was listening to last time I was in Vegas, they had this thing about, instead of like going for this project until they got one yes, they're going to go until they got 100 no's. And they still hadn't reached 100 no's. I tried to do the same thing, and I think I got 100 no's within the first week. But the point was that, like, it builds you up as a person to, like, just be a little stronger and brush it off and move on.
Yeah, and I think you talked about a really good point, is that, you know, we all have insecurities, and even though we may not think one another does, because we're so wrapped up thinking what other people may think, it is, you know, nobody's thinking about it as much as we are, which was a really good point.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, through this project, and we're so grateful that, you know, we've connected with you. Our goal is to really think about those other women that are supporting us, that are good cheerleaders in our life, that, you know, don't bring us down and recognize our insecurities or point them out to us. So do you have women in your life that you surround yourself with that, you know, have helped you through this journey? I know your husband has been a great supporter and encouraged you to do the photography, but any women that really lift you up?
Yeah. So I have two sisters. Well, I have a biological sister, and then I have my husband's sister, who is a sister, Renee and Ivy, and they are just incredible humans. I was like, I'm not going to cry this whole time. They're going to make me cry. It's only because she just got married last week. That's why I'm crying. They're incredible. My sister opened her own business probably about 4 or 5 years before I did. I think she's in her 7th year of business right now. So she was an incredible inspiration to me. And then Seth's sister, like, once I met her and we all became family, she just jumped right in. She just made her little way into the family. And they're both wildly supportive. Like, I could do anything, and I'm getting text messages that, you know, they're so proud of me and blah, blah. And that's awesome. I also listened to Jenna Kutcher's podcast, Gold Digger, like, religiously. It's the only thing that plays in my car. And every week she has some kind of inspiring woman similar to what you guys do, that's owning her own business, or just, you know, kicking ass at being a wife and a mom and business owner. And it's really cool to see. So I listen to that. And then I have, like, an incredible group of photography friends in this area. We're all very close. And, you know, they've turned me on to either the podcast or inviting me out for coffee. And it's just kind of fortunate when you find those people that, like, do truly support you, and then you just don't have time for the people that don't. Like, you just can't consume yourself with that, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I just got goosebumps. And you know, it can be hard to think about that sometimes when you're going through the change or when you're making changes and you have certain people in your life. But when you feel that space with that positive energy and those people that lift you up and support you, it's incredible how much that changes. And that's so awesome.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'll take it.
So what's next with you for photography? I know you do weddings. Are you doing lifestyle shoots too? Or what's your 4 years in? What are you thinking is the next hurdle or the next thing you want to learn with this?
I do lifestyle sessions. I enjoy doing lifestyle sessions more than the more post family sessions. I want to really, I do want to develop the Babe Festival a little more. It's tough because our area is seasonal. So being outside is limiting. But I am looking for a space to be able to bring it indoor when I need to. And I just want to grow that whole, more of women doing it for themselves. And if the guy gets a gift, that's great. But more than, you know, doing it for that reason. And so I really want to concentrate on those two, I think. I didn't tell anybody this, and it's just random that it happened today. But I did start a podcast this morning, and I wasn't really going to announce it because I don't know if I want to do anything with it. But I did record an episode of a podcast, and I'd kind of love to, like, see if that could also be some kind of help to women out there that just need, like, a little bit of encouragement to just, like, go for it. See the other side can be like super beautiful and endless possibilities and opportunities and stuff. So we'll see what all that is.
Well, congratulations. We love breaking news on our channel. So please let us know where it is.
What was it?
You did the first episode this morning?
I did. Yeah. I just kind of sat in my bed and did it because it's been on my mind for a little bit. So I just thought, I'll do it and, stay there.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is a perfect segue into our next question, which we talk about the red bra moments a little bit here and there, and especially with our guests that we highlight. And I'm like, wow, you just had a huge one this morning. And then you came on live this evening with us. You're rocking it today. But, what is when you think about your red bra moment, what's one thing that comes to mind? And or maybe it's something you do every day, but what's one thing that you'd be able to kind of call your red bra moment?
Yeah. Well, I would have to say, and I hate, I get nervous talking about my past with domestic violence because I don't want people to ever think and I think this is so typical probably, but that you're looking for, I don't know, sympathy, or you never know if you think people get sick of hearing about it. But I look back, and when I was leaving the relationship, I had to make a phone call, and I called one friend, and she came and she got me, and she put more things into motion than I did. So all of the 10-year span that was going on in my life, there was one small moment, and it was literally just I actually texting a friend to come up and see me. And out of all the big things that happened, that was the biggest because there was no turning back. I was now letting my big secret out. And so that was the hardest, even though it seems like the smallest in retrospect. But that just got the ball rolling. And I think that's something that's important to realize is that if you are in a bad place or a bad situation, it doesn't have to be some big, huge, gigantic packing up your stuff and moving out. It can be just reaching out for the tiniest bit of help. And then those people, you don't have to worry about it. You figure out what to do. They'll figure out who to tell next and how to get you safe. And I think that's my red bra moment.
I love it. I thank you for being vulnerable and sharing, and it humanizes it. People see you now in this happy marriage, and to look at you, they wouldn't know that. And so I think it is important that you share so that if somebody's going through that, they can feel that safe and that connection with you, or they know to call their friend and reach out for that resource. So I applaud you for not only talking about your past, but for recognizing what it can do for others. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. And thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that you also said something really important. It's not, sometimes you can feel like you have to have everything figured out. And it's just, what am I going to do this, and this, when you took the first step of making a phone call. And just like you said, everything else came into line, and it's, you're going to figure it out, and people are going to show up for you. And that first step is the hardest step. And that's an incredible red bra moment to share with us. Thank you.
Amy, it has just been so incredible getting to know you tonight, and I wish we had a whole other hour to chat with you. I think you just have so much to share. Your photography is gorgeous. Your story is amazing. And so we are going to make sure that we can get your message out to as many of our followers, subscribers as we can. I know Renee probably echoes that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, everybody, I actually see a few viewers on live right now. So thank you guys for joining us. We're so excited. And if you like what you've heard tonight, give us a thumbs up in support of Amy and this incredible, inspiring story and just kind of what we're doing here. And if you connect with us over on Instagram, the party kind of happens over there at the Red Bra Project, but we'll put all different ways to connect with Amy over there. And you can check out our website at theredbraproject.com, where we'll have a follow-up blog post highlighting Amy and all of the incredible moments and things she's shared with us. So Shauna, if anybody does want to share a story with us, what's the easiest way to do that?
Absolutely. If you go to our Instagram page at the Red Bra Project, you can do our link tree there. We've got links right there to our website to fill out the form. You can send us a direct message. Any way that you want to communicate with us, we're happy to hear it. Men or women, please share those people in your lives that are raising women up and the women that are doing incredible things. Amy, we're so glad that we had Meg to feature pictures that you took, and then it connected us to you. And so we want this to keep happening. Anybody that has an important story or message or just anything that needs to be celebrated. I mean, the day I get back in my house, I'm celebrating that. We'll have a special episode.
Popping bottles.
Like growing pains back in the day when they're like, on a special episode of growing. Look it up. You'll Google it.
Well, you ladies are awesome too, and thank you for doing something like this. It's really great that you take the time. I know it's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than it looks like. But thank you for taking the time out of your crazy busy week to share other people's stories, because you never know who's going to find it when they need it most. And it's great fun.
Oh, yes, exactly. You get it. Totally get it. And we are going to be cheering you on and part of your world. And we're going to probably meet one day in person. Who knows where, but yeah. And we always close out every show with a quote. And, you know, you gave us a ton of wonderful quotes that you love and that actually great ideas. She puts them on her phone. So if anybody's looking for a little inspiration, she keeps them right on her phone and kind of serves as a pick-me-up throughout the day. But one that really resonated when we were looking through your quotes that I wanted to share with everybody is, this one. Courage is not an absence of fear, but an act of the will to move forward in the presence of fear. And I think that is incredible.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. This is such a wonderful episode, and we can't wait to see you guys soon. Have a great night.
Bye.